Hi, my name is Kathryn Born. I have 3 online magazines in Chicago. One is about technology, one is about independent filmmaking, and one is about art called Chicago Art Magazine. And I'm up here today to speak sacrilege. I know we've talked about the future of media, but I'm going to do worse. We're talking about everything going online and the newspapers being overtaken by blogs, but the truth is the blogs are crumbling in their own special and unique way. And we think social media is taking a bite out of it, but we're not really sure. And so I like to call it the readership diaspora. So what I think is the culprit, which is where I speak sacrilege, is I think it's the article. I think the article is the problem. People are coming to us hungry, desperate for information, and we give them this. And they've got to harvest through the information, and they got to try to glean the facts out of it. When the media started going online, they never dawned on them to take something besides an article and put it on a flat HTML web page. And what I'm going to talk about is that there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of tools on the web that can do it. The other reason I think journalism should take the role of finding information is that other systems really fail. Like if you look at Yahoo Answers, often doesn't have answers. And these knowledge bases, like this example, has like 30 pages, and none of it's going to help you. The other thing is that we have a very hard time on the internet finding things we don't know the name of. So I like this as an example. Google that one. What do you call that one, huh? Good luck looking that one up. So again, with the media, we can push things to people that we don't, when they don't know what they're looking for. I think the other thing that happened infrastructure-wise that I'd like to fix is puff journalism, these very quick features, and the idea that as a journalist, we go, 90% of our good information gets put in the cutting room floor, and we never share it with our peers. And then when it comes time to do a piece about trends, we're guessing. We're guessing on those trends. There's no anecdotal. It's all anecdotal, and there's no algorithmic statistical data about trends. We're just guessing. So the challenge that I have for myself and for everybody else is that articles are great, and storytelling is wonderful, but it is one tool in the toolbox of a society that is hungry for specific data and making their own decisions about some of the stuff that's happening in the world around them. So my first experiment was Chicago Art Map, which instead of taking art listings, which you usually see in these long listings, instead I said, well, what if we started separating it by the type of art or the neighborhood, and you could put it on a Google map. And then instead of a long list, if you were looking for an art show, you could actually find the art show that was in the area and in the date and the kind of art you wanted to see. So that was the first thing I tried, and it's been, you know, it's been nice. And let's see what happens on the next slide. Oh, so then the point is that on the e-commerce has been leading the way on good web tools, and I think there's so many things we can take and apply to news. One of them is blinds.com, greatest site in the world. I absolutely encourage it. It will help you in ways you've never been helped. It's like, what do you want to see? And then you've got Zappos, which is the king of filtering. And like, so what if you could take the news and say, I don't want commentary, I don't want a story I've already read. What if I wanted a follow-up on a story? What if I could go to my news and say, I don't want the story, I want the follow-up? And what's amazing, on the back end, that means that we as publishers could say, my God, people are looking for a follow-up. Somebody go out there and do a follow-up on that story because people are asking for it. And that's not lip service to interactivity and Web 2.0. We're actually looking at what people are asking for. This is another prototype I'm working with taking industry standard and industry understanding, and instead of just taking guesses of what's going on in the industry, we're trying to map out a very simple part of the industry, which is just the technology startup. And what we're doing is we're going to check in every year and see who closed. And then my little vision is that instead of having to write these articles, we can sort of generate content. We could take a look and say, wow, here's who closed and here's why. And then instead of an article, we'd have something that looks more like this. You take a look at the failure. You could click on the things and take a look at the industries. And you could be using these tools yourself to come up with more data and more understanding and make more sense of the industry yourself and answer your own questions. I think there's so many applications that we could be doing with data and new ways of things. Instead of a film critic who's 40 years older than me and doesn't like what I like, why don't I look at 50 film critics and find the critics that's closest to me, and then I can just listen to that person's recommendations. I mean, here's Netflix that doesn't know the difference between me and my kid and what we're all watching in the house. It's just all one recommendation, and it could be such a more sophisticated system, and one that I'd like to see when it comes to visual art. Anyway, we have a huge opportunity as media. We've got a hungry audience that's dying for data, and there's no reason that the media needs to be falling apart. So. And I got 3 seconds to spare, so thank you very much for your time.